What's good, bros? Today is July 14th, 2025. Just going over the price action from today and also some of the trade ideas that I had executed on. I always start on the higher time frames. Until literally right now, we were within this given range. Price wasn't really doing too much. When I break it down to the 4 hour, you can kind of see just how tight of a range we've been staying in. Most of the price action has been between this low and this high. So the reason why I like to mark these up is because it helps me understand when price pushes and closes past one of these points. It's going to give me a stronger indication of what the narrative is not going to be. So we can see right now price is pushing up through here, but granted, well actually no, this 4 hour candle is about to close here soon. So we're going to see the way this closes, and that's going to give us an indication if price wants to keep going up, or it's going to give us some indication that price might want to come back down. When I see stuff like this, I don't chase it. I like to kind of wait till the next morning to kind of let price action build itself up, give me a better idea of what price is most likely going to do. So because we've been playing in this time range, I understand that most of my trades from today would have to be within this range, right? So when you're trading within a range, you want to be able to find significant internal highs and lows that you can target as your take profit for the day. So moving back down to the 1 hour, one of the things that really caught my eye was how price took out this low right here. Actually, these relative equal lows. This right here is what we call a liquidity sweep. So that gave me the indication that price will most likely want to look to reverse. Ooh, put it on the wrong port. So this right here is sell side liquidity. Something else that I also noticed was that we have this new week opening gap. This is going to be very important because price likes to use these new week opening gaps as strong reference points. So I always just mark it up with my fib just because I like to understand where the midpoint or consequent encroachment of that is going to be. You'll see a lot of times price is going to either reverse from that point, or once it closes past that point, push very heavy in that one direction. And we're going to see that a little bit more on the lower time frame. Something else I kind of noticed too, we have this internal high. So this right here was something of interest for me. Something else that also gave me indication price will probably want to go up. Not only do we have this inefficiency, which was 1, and then we also have this untouched buy side liquidity at that time here, but we also have a premium fair value gap right here on the 1 hour. And we understand higher time frames hold more weight. So this was helping me lead towards a narrative for the morning session.
Now that I'm moving back down to the 5 minute, I just redefined my opening range so that I can be a little bit more accurate. One thing to keep in mind, notice how much weight this red line or this midline of this opening is holding weight. See how many times when price comes above or price comes near, to this point, that's when it likes to reverse. I'm kind of keeping in mind stuff like that too, right? So then once 9:30 came out around right here, one thing that I wanted to focus on was also how price is most likely going to want to liquidate something first before going bullish, right? So typically we see that when price wants to reverse, liquidity is going to get swept. Most of the time during 9:30 open, you're going to see price target liquidity from London session, right? So one thing that I want to ask myself, since we were buying up, if I were to liquidate something, I would have to go south first or bearish first, and then after that, it's going to reverse and go bullish. So understanding that I have this PD array right here, this gave me an indication that price would most likely want to reverse out of this zone. But if it would reverse from the zone, where would it most likely want to go? So how I'm able to find these points, you find 7 a.m. on your chart, which would be right here. And then what you want to do is you want to go, see if I can just do a vertical line. Then what you want to do is you want to find either the highest high or the lowest low, depending on what your narrative is, so that you understand where price is going to want to target. So this right here is the lowest low after 7 a.m., right? So when price goes and she opens up initially, this is going to be most likely where price is going to want to draw to in order to liquidate before going in its real direction. I understand this is going to be a target for Nas, and you can see how that got swept. Another thing to keep in mind, like I said, price is going to be very interactive when it comes around this midline, right? So price did not have to come all the way back down here. It could have stopped right here and then came back in reverse. So you can see here with my entries, with my exit, I actually came out right here underneath these relative equal lows, right? So this is still a form of internal liquidity, right? So this would have been a great place to get low hanging fruit. So you can see how when price first came up into this 1 hour PD array, came back down, it just retested it right here. And then you're going to see here, once price broke out beneath this low right here, this internal low, that's what gave me the confirmation that price is going to most likely keep coming back down. So this is how I framed that trade right here. So I went short right underneath this low. Stop is going to be right above the consequent encroachment of this 1 hour PD array. And then TP is going to be for this low. So you see this right here, it's almost, what is that? Almost like a 2-to-1. Yeah, it's almost like a 2-to-1. So cashed out right here. And then once this low got swept, when price came back, we had these two bullish engulfing candles, right? So one thing to keep in mind, I can actually make this a little bit smaller. So this inefficiency right here between this low and this high, it was just a one candle pass through. So I'll move this down for you. When price came back through it, notice how it just had that one single pass through come up through here. When that happens, this is considered a balanced range, right? So when you are given a balanced range, you do not want to see price come back into that level, right? Because it is not balanced. There's no reason for price to want to come back into it. So once price came through with these aggressive candles and closed outside of the range, it gave me a strong indication that price is looking to keep going higher now. But now you got to answer. You don't just pop just because you see this. Where is price most likely going to go? So we have this high right here. And then for those who really want to get nitty gritty with it, you also have a fair value gap that's untouched right here. So the way that I played it, once price came back down, coming up or coming back down and retracing into this fair value gap is permissible. Even here, you can see how this fair value gap, if I bring it up a little bit, it got tapped into just a little bit, but you definitely do not want to see it come past the halfway point or the consequent encroachment. And look how much it lines up with the gap for this week, right? The new week opening gap. So because of that, that's giving me strong confirmation. I really don't want to see price come back below here. So the way I had this buy set up, I took the trade like this. So I got in around the fair value gap right here. I had my stop loss right underneath the midpoint, so like this of this balanced price range, and then TP was for up here. And then I also popped more entries and got out right here. So I clicked on this little push right here. So I was able to get this right here, this push up into here, came back down. You can see how I popped off of this order block right here. So if I draw that out for you guys, this down close candle before the up move, all price did was come back down into here. You could have pyramided your entries here again, and you could have exited at this top. After that, I was done for the day. But you also want to keep in mind, because this is a balanced price range, it gave you a narrative that price will most likely want to keep going for the day, right? So if I would have held entries at all right here, you can see how this whole area just stayed open. So even when price started accumulated, she just kept going up and up and up from that point. Because at this point, price had already validated this area, and we had already taken out the low from back here, right? We had already taken out the low from back here. So now because of that, that's giving us a stronger indication that price is wanting to keep seeking higher prices. That's really it for the day. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you feel like you learned something new or gained some insight, drop a like. If you like the type of content you've been seeing, subscribe so you can see more. Catch you on the next video.